Hi everyone, this is Maggie again, and today I would like to share with you tips that may be helpful to blind people who are planning to shop for gifts or to prepare a nice surprise for somebody. Before I start, I really want to apologize for all of the noises that you may hear in the background, but my guide dog Bob decided that he wants to help me with recording this video, and now he is lying here by my side. I also want to apologize for the fact that this video may be far more chaotic than my other recordings, but I want to share with you as much information as I can about all of these tips that I have tried myself, that I use on a regular basis, and about which I can honestly say that they work. So, it is really important to make sure that we give ourselves as much time as we can for shopping and for preparing our chosen surprise. We never know what difficulties or obstacles we may encounter, and we never know how long it will take us to overcome them. So having some spare time is really important. And more time we have, then more certain we can be that everything will go according to our plans. It is also really important to take every opportunity to gain as much knowledge as we can about shops in our area, about things that we can purchase in those shops, about available bargains, and about places where we can go for a nice coffee, lunch, dinner, and about places where we can watch interesting movies, exhibitions, or plays, and even about places that could be a really nice destination for a pleasant trip. The whole point is that sighted people gain all of this information in a sort of more passive way, we could say. So just by walking around and looking around, they gain information about everything which is in a shop, or about some adverts telling about some new plays or movies, or about some new products. And sometimes they may simply walk in a shopping mall and, for instance, spot a nice blouse and think, okay, that will be really gift for so and so. Blind people have to put far more effort into finding interesting, nice things. So now I would like to talk about several useful sources of information. So the first source that I would like to mention is our daily conversations that we have with our work colleagues, family members, friends, neighbors, and so on and so forth. It is really important that we actively participate in all of these conversations, and that we never hesitate to ask questions and to have a look at different things. It may be very useful to us to learn from other people about some interesting things that are available, or to see, for instance, how we could decorate a table or wrap something up in a nice way, or about some nice pieces of jewelry, and so on and so forth. Another good source of information is commercials. I know that commercials sometimes can be annoying, but they always include information about available bargains and where we can find these bargains. And they often talk about things that were just recently released and that are relatively new, or about some most popular things. So although commercials are annoying, sometimes it is useful to pay attention to them. Another source that I really want to recommend is YouTube. I believe that YouTube is a really great source of information because many channels specialize in some very narrow topics. So for instance, there are channels devoted just to perfume, just to makeup, or to fashion, and all of the films that are uploaded there are very detailed. Information is often delivered in a very descriptive way, and there is wide variety of information there. Another source of information is all of that information that we can learn from sighted people when we walk with them around the town or a shopping mall. When we are walking with somebody sighted, it is always useful to ask about what shops we are just walking by, or what can we purchase in some shops, because sometimes some shops, for instance, mainly sell clothes, but they also sell other things like jewelry or home decorations, but these things may be not advertised in such a clear way. So it is always useful to know what products we can find in which shops. Now, another source of information that I want to mention is having our sat-nav on when we walk, even in the areas that we know well. The sat-navs that are designed for blind people often give very detailed information about objects that we walk by. So, for instance, about restaurants, pubs, clubs, shops, cinemas, and so on and so forth. So, when we have our sat-nav on, we can easily memorize which places, shops, pubs are where, and it is easier for us to memorize routes to these places. And also, sometimes things change in town, but also our sat-navs are updated. So when we have our sat-nav on, we can learn about various changes that are happening in town. Okay, now I would like to move on to another tip. And this tip is all about gaining as much information as we can about the person that we want to buy a gift for or to prepare some surprise for. So it is really important to pay attention to everything the person says about their likes, about, for instance, what music they like, what books they read, what colors they prefer, what clothes they like, for instance, or how they like to decorate their house, or about things they would like to purchase, or if they collect something, it is kind of important to remember what things they already have from certain collections and what things they are planning to purchase. All of these informations can be used in the future and can provide us with useful ideas whenever we need to buy something for the person or prepare something for them. Sometimes it is even useful to note these ideas down. Sometimes we would like to get something for somebody, but we may be not so much in touch with them. So maybe we don't know them that well, or maybe we don't have that much opportunity to talk to them, and then we have less opportunity to learn things about them. But in these situations, we may ask sighted people to look with us on the social media and on the pictures that this person that we want to buy a gift for is uploading on social medias. So just to clarify it, because I don't want to confuse anybody. So sometimes it is useful to go to the social media of the person that we want to buy a gift for and ask somebody sighted to look with us at the picture that the person is uploading there. And then these pictures may provide us with useful information about what colors the person likes, what clothes they wear, or even what kind of sports equipment they use, or what, let's say, bags they like wearing, or what shoes they like wearing, or what accessories they have at home. And then, although we don't talk to this person that much, we still have good source of information about them. Now, I would like to move to yet another tip, and this tip is all about the lists that we can find online or that are presented on a TV or on the radio. And these lists are kind of bringing together various suggestions about gifts that we can, for instance, buy for her, for him, for children, for elderly people, and so on and so forth. So these tip lists are often compiled in that way that they gather like certain information in one place. So for instance, suggestion for gifts for a husband or a boyfriend are on one list, and then there is a separate list with suggestions of gifts for kids, yeah? And I really recommend these lists because sometimes we can find there fantastic ideas about which we would never think about. Okay, now I will move to the point which I believe is the most important out of all of this list. So I will try to explain what I mean as clearly as I can, and I will try not to confuse you here. So as you all know, nowadays, more and more people definitely shop online. And for many reasons, it is really convenient for blind people to shop online. However, the difficulty may be that different websites sadly include information about various products which is sometimes not very precise. Or sometimes the information about products is explained in such a poetic language, of course for commercial reasons, that we may be a little bit confused what this thing really looks like, and so on and so forth. So I would advise to initially find out what shops we can easily get to and what things we can buy them. Then more or less decide what we would like to get, and then go to the website of the shop that is selling the things that we are interested in, then to read descriptions of products on the website, and if we are interested in something, to save the link to that thing on our phone, or to WhatsApp it to ourselves, or to maybe email it to ourselves. Then it is a really good idea to go to that shop, to that shop that we were looking at the website and we chose certain objects or products, and then to ask to see the product that we have selected. If we do that, then we really, really have a good idea what the product is like, and then we can make really well-informed choice, and we don't risk that we buy something that we imagined in a totally different way. I hope that what I explained makes sense here, but in a nutshell, when we buy things online, sometimes the information that is available on the website is not detailed enough. So if we can first read the description on a website and then go to the shop and look at the thing, then we have much more better idea of what this thing is like. I know that many people may find it a little bit daunting to go to places that are in a, let's say, busy shopping mall, or a little bit far away from where they live, or if they're not sure how to get to a certain place. So now I would like to talk about different tips about how to practically get to shops. So the first great idea is to gain as much information about the locality of the shop or the place that we want to find from the website. So it is always useful to check the address of the place, number of the house, name of the street, and so on and so forth. It is also useful to find out what characteristics places or shops or, I don't know, monuments or other things are in that area. So then it is easier for us to ask for directions. If the place that we want to find is in a shopping mall, it may be helpful to check what is the number of the shop or of the place that we want to find, like for instance, restaurant. Because in shopping malls, the shops, restaurants, and cafes are all numbered. So knowing the number, then again, it is easier for us to find the place and to ask for directions. It may be also useful to help about on which floor the coffee shop or restaurant or the shop is. If we still struggle with finding our chosen destination, it may be useful to phone them and to ask them, like, to explain, like, oh, I would normally say, hi, I'm blind, I'm walking from this and that direction to your shop, and can you give me some more detailed directions? How can I find you? Or, for instance, you could say, oh, I am, at this place. Could somebody please walk a little bit towards me to find me and to help me to get to your store? Or if you're shopping in a shopping mall, we can call the help desk, and very often, to be fair, always they will find somebody who can help us. Normally they are asking security people. So at this point, I also wanted to mention that great majority of the time, people are really, really happy to help. And even if somebody was unhappy, please don't be discouraged by this, because, everybody is just a human. People may have a not very good day, and these things should never stop us from, going around and looking at things and basically, doing what we want to do. Now, the next point is about the fact that sometimes we may decide that actually we would like somebody sighted to advise us. And this is absolutely fine, because asking for an advice is a normal thing. Everybody asks for an advice, not only blind people, but everybody asks, oh, do you think this is nicer or that is nicer? So, this is like normal thing. The only thing that I would mention at this point is that it is important that we ask for an advice person that we really trust, and that we kind of know that we can value their opinion, because sometimes we hear various opinions from various people and we can't take every opinion to heart, because to be fair, everybody may have a different opinion about things. So it is really important that, for instance, we choose somebody who has a similar taste to ours, and then we know that they kind of are reliable helpers, advisors. If we're buying something from the specific niche, like for instance sports equipment, it is also important to think whether we have somebody who knows a lot about these things, like for instance about sports, and whether they could help us with these specific niche products, or Now, the next point is all about making sure that we really buy what we want to buy. I will explain what I mean by this. So, you know, very often people who work in shops or shopping malls are very, very busy, sometimes very tired. So we have to appreciate that everybody is just a human, everybody may make a mistake. So if we are buying something expensive, or if the shop is far away from where we live and we don't want to go back to return this thing, or if we don't have enough time to come and return something, it is a good idea to scan the label on the thing or scan the barcode and to double check whether the item is really what we want to buy. Nobody will be offended by this, and sometimes people even prefer that you make sure that the thing that you buy is really what you want to buy, because sometimes, even for people who work in shops, some things are confusing. Let's say, certain perfume may have, like, I don't know, 10 flankers. So, it is good just to double check. Okay, the last thing is all about wrapping the gifts. So, probably the easiest option is to buy a really nice gift bag. But if you want to wrap your gifts, remember that this is something that we all have to practice, and everybody initially struggles with that. However, if you still find it a little bit hard, it is always a good idea to double check whether a shop that you are shopping in is offering a service of wrapping things. If they do, they will have all of the things that they need, and that will be just covered by the price of the product. If they don't, it may be useful to have all of the things that you need for wrapping with you. So you have your paper, I don't know, sellotape, scissors, and on majority of situations, they are more than happy to help. However, if they are too busy, it is important to plan ahead, give yourself more time, and make sure that you have enough time to ask friends or family members. I hope that you found some of these tips useful and that you enjoyed this video. And again, I apologize for being that chaotic again, but I really want to try to explain everything to my best ability and to share my experience of using these tips. And thank you for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.